Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm very excited today. As always, we have another amazing entrepreneur on, and his name is Ryan Dudley. He's calling in from the United Kingdom today, and his business is Ryan Dudley Fitness. He is a personal trainer. He helps people with nutrition and just looking and being their best self. Ryan, how are you today? I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on the show. I know it's a little bit late where you are, so I appreciate you sacrificing a little bit of your Friday night to be with us.
You're welcome, mate.
Very cool. I gave everybody the real quick overview, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do inside your business, how you got started at it, and who you serve?
Yes, obviously, I am a personal trainer, both online and in the gym. I also cover all aspects of the nutrition as well. I've been going around 5 years in total, fully as a one-to-one full-time personal trainer since 2021, around December time. I got into fitness just through generally being young and always into sport and stuff like that myself. And then I realized, obviously, as I started getting more into it, I was getting a lot of questions from people and stuff. And I thought, I can actually help people here. So I started doing that, literally doing it as like a hobby at first, helping friends, family and stuff. And then I actually sat back and thought, I could probably make some out of this. And people were saying, you could probably make some money as well. And I thought, if I can get paid at the same time, then well, hell, why not? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was quite a natural thing for me to flow into. It has not been an easy road, if I'm being honest, even if it is obviously something you've got a passion for. But the main people I help are people similar to myself. So people that had maybe body confidence issues when they've been younger. So I was myself. I was a very small teenager. I was quite insecure. I just happened to be good at sport and stuff. So I tried to excel in what I was good at and just obviously hide the pretty insecure. But during the process of obviously getting into it and changing my physique, all that just seemed to dwindle away. And I couldn't believe the transition. All of a sudden, you just realize that you're not the person you are anymore. So I thought that can help a lot of people. So that's pretty much what I do. I'm not as much focused on the physical aspect of it anymore. It's more a mental game, if I'm being honest as well. Is the things that it does for people's mindset as a whole, which can obviously transition into your business, your relationship, and so on. It's like a domino effect, in my opinion. I used to be more into obviously the physical side of it, which is what everybody does want initially, but then they also start reaping the benefits mentally. And for me, that's just massive. And people don't actually realize the impact that just exercise and fitness has on the mental state as well. And I think if you get that locked down, then everything else just falls into place. And obviously the physique transformation, that's just a byproduct and not the main focus if you actually dig into it.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point for so many people. Unless you're like in a competition and it's really all about the form and the physique, people don't necessarily go to the gym because they want to look super amazing. Sometimes that's part of it, but they overall want to feel better and improve their life and be healthier.
100%, mate. So obviously you've got two types of the people, which I do help both. So you've obviously got your athletes, your bodybuilders and stuff like that. For them, it is a completely different process. It's so strict, regimented, and it is a case of you've got to do this, you've got to do that. But obviously the other side, just your lifestyle clients, generally is a more relaxed approach. Obviously you do get some guys, some females as well, that actually want to delve deeper into that side of it and maybe test themselves. So I do briefly outline what that's going to entail. Some do well in it, some don't. For some, it's just to see if they can test themselves. Some people decide they want to maybe step on stage or even just for a photo shoot. Most people, it's either a holiday or a wedding. They're quite big reasons to get in shape, to be honest. But yeah, for the most part, it's just a slow, steady approach.
Absolutely. Now, I know we were talking a little bit before the interview. You had some interesting timing getting into the business because as you were getting into it and growing it, we went into COVID and the whole world locked down. Most people couldn't even go to their gym, and a lot of personal training kind of transitioned into the online space. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how it affected your business and how it's helped you get online?
Yeah, so touching times for everybody. Like, as quickly as it's gone away, which is quite weird if you ask me. But yeah, so I was literally just mate. Then obviously all this came crashing down. I'm pretty sure it affected a lot of people in a lot of ways, not just obviously my industry. But luckily at that time I was still working as well. So the job I was in allowed me to carry on working because it was classed as essential. But the PT side of it just literally dwindled away to nothing. I think I had one guy that stayed on with me. And then obviously people that I knew in the business started to look into the online side of things. And obviously me included. I thought, how can I still help these people? So I literally just switched up to Zoom. So we're offering out free Zoom calls, putting links out on my socials. First, again, it was just for people that I knew, but then I started trying to reach a wider audience. So luckily, the gym that we were in, obviously, because it fell under work still. We were allowed to enter the gym individually and record stuff. So that's what we all did. We had like his own slots. We were going in, so I was doing HIIT workouts and stuff like that. And obviously there were a lot of interest. I didn't actually capitalize immediately on obviously building an online business because the tech side of it, stuff like that, I've never ever done, and I'm not the best with that, even though I am pretty good now. Yeah, a lot of coaches that I know personally have absolutely smashed it online, and they're now still online and they haven't really gone back to the gym side of it. And it just proves that obviously it doesn't have to be a one-to-one aspect, that you can still deliver solid results just by delivering the fundamentals and using the main things what you need from a coach, which is accountability and obviously structure as well. Obviously, since going back out of the pandemic, I've gone into the gym and absolutely killed that. My business has gone absolutely crazy in 12 months, and I'm quite grateful for that. Finances are no longer an issue, but your time is now taking a hit. So that's why I'm now trying to look back to the online side of things, to not so much even more money, even though that's, again, it's the byproduct, people, but at the same time, I can get more of my time back and do things on my own time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. That's a great point. And then you brought up something else, which was transitioning onto the online space does have a lot of its own kind of separate challenges. Like you said, the tech aspect of it. But as far as actually working with people, what do you say is the difference between helping people get fit like over the internet and actually being there in person? And what are some of the different challenges with that?
Okay, good one, mate. Very good one. Generally, as a rule of thumb, if someone comes to me in the local and they have no clue on the gym whatsoever, I always do recommend doing the one-to-one first. Now, it's not always affordable for some people, which I totally understand. It's cheaper online. I know some coaches charge a lot of money online, but I'm not right up there with, well, like the worst prices you can pay. But yes, I always recommend one-to-one first so we can lock down the form and the technique. I mean, anybody can Google a workout and have a look, but actually doing it safely and correctly is massive. If you get that wrong, you're going to get injured and you're just going to have actual results. But so yeah, if the person doesn't really know, then I will offer one-to-one, and then they can transition to the online side of things once we get a bit of a better idea. If it's somebody that is quite advanced or intermediate, then obviously I do just offer the online services as the first, because then people don't generally need you there, like for the accountability in person. They're quite happy to just have the program, follow that, and go away with that. Now, if it's somebody what's adamant they want to do online and you know that they're still quite novice, then obviously I don't think the discipline's there. They haven't got the fundamentals in place, and then those people can either not get the results they want and then obviously back out and think it doesn't work for them, or there's no way of telling how intense that person's working out when I'm not with them. They could be following the plan to an absolute T, but the effort level in the sessions, for example, it could be next to none. And obviously without me there in person to literally be pushing them, then I've no idea what sort of intensity the workouts are. So it is a tricky one, like I said. But yeah, I think there's a market for both sides, to be honest. But I also do offer like a hybrid. So some people will be online, but then they might book in for individual sessions so they can go over form. Or I might say, look, we'll jump in on a session, we'll go over all this and the information you feel you need in that area.
And now another thing I want to touch on and ask about is that a lot of people, they don't have a home gym, or they have maybe some weights at home. And so they probably are wondering, how can I do an online program if I don't have all of this equipment? And I'm assuming that looks a little bit different, what you help them with if they're just at home versus what they could do inside of a fully equipped gym.
Yes, 100%. So if that is the case, generally speaking, if it's somebody, say if it's a young male, for example, is right, I want to get jacked, that's it. I want to work out from home, I've got no equipment, or I've got a pair of dumbbells, I'll just be honest, I'll say, it's not going to happen. So your general client that wants to obviously lose weight, just get fit and get in shape, then we can absolutely put a massive dent in it, literally just with body weight. As long as they're following a good solid nutrition plan, they are staying in a deficit, they're following the plan, they're logging the food, I can see that, I'm holding them accountable. Body weight workouts can be extremely effective. So all I do for that is we'll be doing HIIT workouts 3, 4, 5 times a week, depending on the client's ability, time-wise. It's even something we can do at home even when kids are running around, kids can join in or whatever. It's one of them. It can actually become a family thing. So again, it is very doable at home. And then obviously if the client has got minimal equipment, then we can literally do full body workouts with a pair of dumbbells, a kettlebell, 2 kettlebells, a bar. There's so much you can do. Obviously, if you carry the knowledge to obviously help the individual, then results can be just as good. But as far as like muscle building, it's not optimal, but obviously in losing body fat is the best way to look like you've put muscle on. So yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend recently started working with a personal trainer who lives here in our area, and she did a similar thing. She actually came to the house and they did an initial intake and find out what her goals are. And then most of the workouts she was just doing online. And like you said, even the kids started getting into it. They were all doing push-ups together and all these different exercises. And it was just amazing to see just how that spreads when you want to do better and be better. The people around you see that and also want to raise their game up as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know if you've seen the guy, you might have heard of Joe Wicks.
I'm
Joe
not
Wicks
sure. I don't
guy.
think so.
Nice. He's from the UK, but I think he put a book out, like a Joe Wicks Get Lean in 15, he called it, had that published. And then in the lockdown, he started doing 15-minute family home workouts, like on one of the daytime breakfast shows. And it just went absolutely crazy. Millions were tuning in daily. And then obviously he's put like a program in place where it's $2.99 a month to jump onto these things, but there were millions jumping on. So the guy went literally viral overnight just by doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the power of what that's a thing that community can actually do. There were people doing it, sending YouTube videos in, two kids, the mum, the dad. It was awesome.
Very cool. Now, I want to ask you a little more specifically about your business and what you think the biggest constraint financially is in your business or the biggest roadblock right now.
What ones that I've had in the past?
One that you have right now. What would you say is like the biggest thing that's keeping you from growing and bringing in more money right now?
So obviously I'd go with the online side of things like I discussed earlier. So it's still pretty new to me. So I'm a lot better with the technology now. I've tried to do things on my own. I've had multiple mentors. A lot of them do promise the world, but they don't deliver. There's a lot of people out there just wanting to make money. And yeah, you've got to be careful with that one. But I would say it's the difference between getting a client online and getting one in the gym. It's massive. It's a competitive industry anyway. But when you go online, there's people charging £30 a month for full training. It's cheap, but you've got to ask yourself why the product's cheap. And there's going to be like massive turnover of clients. There's going to be no retention. The client's not going to value the product because it's so cheap. You're not going to have that discipline there. So obviously the best way to go online, obviously, is looking to deliver a solid program, which is backed by obviously evidence. But obviously there's going to be a price tag to that. And again, not everybody can afford that, but it's finding those clients. So I believe finding my specific niche and targeting that audience with specific like copywriting and wording. I think once you've got the financial stability to have all those people in place, like marketing agents, copywriters, stuff like that, that's when I think you can scale your business. But me at the moment, obviously trying to do most of it myself, yeah, it is very tough. But I am obviously trying to build my income to start getting these people on board, which it will come. It's just hard. So obviously it is just literally little, say, it's inevitable that I'll get there. These things, if you're not educated on these things, you do need the help. And obviously that.
Yeah, and I'd love to talk a little bit about the education part because I know, at least here in the US, they teach us almost nothing about finance, whether it's personal or business. I went to school and they never taught me how to balance a checkbook. They didn't teach me about investing or saving money, but like I can do useless things like calculus that I've never used since I graduated high school. Did you have any sort of financial education before you went into business? And where did you get it from if you did?
So it's actually crazy that you just said that, mate. I was having this exact conversation with one of my clients earlier about the fact that nothing like this was taught in school. I messed my finances up at a young age myself, and I had to go through an IVA, which took me about 7 years to get out of. So what I was saying was, if you were taught things about finance and taxes and stuff in school, and a lot of young teenagers wouldn't make the mistakes that they make. Not all of them do. A lot of parents do educate the kids, but the ones that don't get that, I believe that they end up messing things up. So back to that aspect, no, I didn't. Obviously, due to that, like lines of credit and finance and ways that I could have got funding for things, to me, haven't been there. So I've literally been up against it from the get-go. But again, it falls back to what we just discussed then and not having the education. But as far as getting my own, I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of things, audio stuff. And obviously, I do watch people that are doing what I want to do. So I have done a lot of courses. So I've took little bits from each one. It's not all useful, but I believe if you take what you can from each little bit, then obviously that does give you what you need. But again, it's a massive area. And if that's not what you do, what you study, then again, you are going to pick these things up slowly. And it is a shame that this sort of stuff isn't delivered like as a base staple thing in education.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we talk a lot on this show about financial freedom. Obviously, you're new to your business area, and so you're obviously younger, so you're more at the beginning of your financial freedom journey. But let's say project out into the future and you get to the point where you're making enough money that you don't necessarily have to be working inside of the business if you don't want to,
Yeah.
and you have enough money to live the lifestyle that you want and do as you please. How would you spend your time then, and what does that life look like for you?
Oh, mate, yeah, I'm already living that life inside my head, mate. I believe that you do have to, you hear this a lot if you watch stuff, but you've got to envision it, you've got to see it clearly outlined in front of you before you get your hands on it. So, yeah, it's a good question. And then, so basically, as soon as I've got the financial freedom to do what I want to do, yes, I'll scale my business. I'll get things running on autopilot. I will bring other PTs on. One of my brothers actually doing what I'm doing now, and I plan to bring him in at some point. He can learn the ropes, do the same as me. But yeah, I plan to scale my business as much as I can online. And then as soon as I get where I can't manage that clientele, and obviously I'll bring other trainers in. And then slowly I plan to back out and just focus solely on content creation and obviously driving more traffic towards the business. Once all that's in place, then yes, I would love to travel while I still help people, mate. I'd love to be able to take my family and do that. Literally, the laptop lifestyle is so appealing to me. Happily be on holiday, sit with my laptop a couple of hours a day, putting the work in, taking my check-in calls from anywhere in the world. That to me, that doesn't sound like work. That's not work. Many people like, yeah, that's cool to think about.
Yeah, I love it. That's one of the amazing opportunities available in the business world today that even 20 or 30 years ago wasn't possible, or that people couldn't even dream of because we just didn't have the technology and the ability back then.
That's it, man. That's it. And obviously, I've been looking into other things as well. Like, I'm quite interested in stuff like e-commerce and dropshipping and stuff. You know, that stuff requires a lot of attention. So yeah, that sort of stuff's on the back burner. But once I've got more time, then again, that's all laptop stuff, mate. You can literally, there's so many things you can do if you've got a laptop.
Absolutely. Gotcha. Now, as far as this year, do you have any kind of major initiative that you're working on inside of your business? Or if not, what's one thing you'd really like to see achieved by the end of the year?
Good question again, mate. So I have actually got a business call on Tuesday for a new mentor. And I think this could be the difference between what I'm trying to achieve, getting there and not getting there. So the track record and the success of his other coaches, it's absolutely phenomenal. Their staple trademark and quote as a business is to double your current income inside of 90 days. A lot of people say that, but like this guy's actually doing it. So I've got the call on Tuesday and I'm going to jump on board with these guys. It's all the kind of support what I've just been telling you about, obviously, that I haven't got the education on. So I'm going to basically have people in each corner to help me with that sort of stuff so I can drive my business forward. So the plan is I'm not even going to say end of year, mate. I'm going to say, I'd say the second quarter, I plan to have at least 50% of my business online. By end of year, I plan to be doing six figures by end of year, and it's mapped out in front of me already. Multiple six figures is doable. There's people doing it on the daily. An actual close personal friend of mine that left my gym, he's just moved out to Saudi Arabia, and he's doing the same thing with the same coaching plan, and he's absolutely killing it, mate. So I've literally seen it unfold in front of my eyes. So I'm going to follow the same route. Like I said, the work ethic is already there with myself. So I just need that support network. So yeah, by end of year, fully online, six-figure business, and then obviously the world's up, and then we can do more things.
Wow, wonderful. I look forward to hear more about that. And hopefully we can have you back on later on in the year or next year and hear how that's gone and follow your growth. That's awesome.
That'd be cool, mate. Happy to do that.
Awesome. Now, you've shared a lot of valuable insights for the audience and a lot of great stories I think people are really going to connect with. So first, again, just thank you for taking the time out of your day and to come on with us. And then just for people who want to learn more about what you do and what you're up to, where's the best place for them to go to do that?
Where they can find me.
Yep.
I am on multiple social networks. So I am on Instagram. We'll go with that one first. So you can find me on Instagram at Ryan Dudley Fitness. I am also on Facebook just as Ryan Dudley. We're TikTok, Ryan Dudley Fitness. What else we got? My website is ryandudleycoaching.com. And well, you got your stuff like I don't really do much on there. It's just more of a little Photoshop signing out family things. So yeah, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and obviously my website. Just searching my name, Dudley Fitness, you should be able to find them. But yeah, if anyone wants to reach out to me on there, want to ask me anything, any questions, I'm more than happy to get back to you. Fire away.
Okay, Ryan. And any parting words or advice for entrepreneurs out there?
Yeah, definitely. So never give up, 100% never give up. I've literally been down and out so many times, about to throw a towel in. Literally, my family's stopped me doing that a couple of times. And just believe in yourself, always back yourself, and you'll get there. But more importantly, stay away from negative people. You don't want to be around negativity. You need to remove that. If you're telling people about your dreams and they're telling you why it could go wrong, this and that, you want them people away from you. End of the day, it's your dream. It's what you want to do. You do not need negativity. You just need need positivity. Like I said, work rate, back yourself, and just keep going. You only fail if you quit. Simple as.
Great advice, Ryan. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your day and for sharing yourself with our audience. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Absolutely. And to everybody out there who's listening, if you enjoyed this episode of the podcast and you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do that. And if you can leave us one of those 5-star reviews, we really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton to reach other entrepreneurs. And if you happen to be an entrepreneur like our amazing guest, Ryan, and you want to come on for a future episode, we would love to talk to you. To do that, you can go to
pyfpodcast.com. That's the letters pyfpodcast.com
to apply. Ryan, thanks again.